So as far as the technology goes, the impact of technology is coming a full circle. If you take a look at the phones, right, it took 50 years to go to 75 million users. Your BMAP took what? One day to reach 10 million people. Angry Birds, many of you are proud users of that game, right? It took actually less than 30 days to have 75 million downloads. The impact of technology is increasing at a rapid pace, but at the end of the day, the technology is about what's in it for me. It is coming a full circle to be something that is impacting you and not necessarily on the global stuff. You don't care. It has to be about you. If you look at the dichotomy, the businesses are going through the change itself. If you look at the first one, every business wants to have a global reach, every one of them. However, your customers don't care. They want it, everything, all their experiences is about them. They would care a rat's ass if you are in one country or you are $1 billion business or you are $100 billion business. At the end of the day, your customer demands a personal service from your company. When you look at the businesses, many of the businesses are changing fundamentally. You have people and many of the retailers in the room. You have events like Singles Day, a Black Friday, which are retail heavy. It causes a lot of strain on your IT systems. And you have people on the other hand that says, hey, we actually run everything, we manage everything. However, we own nothing. The Airbnbs of the world, how many rooms do they own? They actually own one room. Right? The Ubers of the world, right? So it is, the business landscape is changing dramatically. On that note, again, going back to the point that Rajesh made, I will not show you the video, but again, it's my attempt on the 5 things that I think the technology will change in the near future by 2030. So how many people have watched Iron Man? Raise of hands. Wonderful. I mean, for people who have not watched it, please, please, please watch the movie. It's a great movie. There is an entity called Jarvis. Everybody by 2030 will have your own Jarvis. It is your personal assistant that will be with you at all times. I'm going to name mine as Shivraj. Any thoughts why? It is the opposite of Jarvis. So mine will be Shivraj. Just do not use that name. Uh, okay, so along with Jarvis, the things that power your Jarvis will be your personal cloud. There is a good chance that many of the devices that you own will actually become dumb devices like your mainframes. Your personal cloud with everything that you need will follow you anytime, anywhere that you need. So you will have your own space in the cloud wherever you are, and that cloud is powering all of the Shivraj of yours. Just find a better name. So, if you look at all of the devices, I mean, it's a pretty well-known fact that all of the devices are getting smaller. If you look at the compute power, you have more compute power in my son's PlayStation than you had on the space shuttle. He still beats me every time. That's a different story. The compute power is getting gigantic. Electrons will end. It will be the time of protons. The technology will move into the quantum computing. The implantables will be there. You are talking about all of the variables now. That will be a distant thing. The small robots will be in your bloodstream. They will be a part of you. You don't have to name them. That's a good part. But they will be a part of you. The computing power has actually grown 1 trillion in the last 60 years. Moore's law, everybody knows about it. Those things will still happen. However, the computing power only is impacting 0.5% of the data. All that other data that we talked about is not even touched. There is nothing that is accessing that. Things will change in which you would want your computing power to use a lot more data. Your algorithms fundamentally will change. It'll come back to the basics. We all use the RSA and a bunch of the ones that have been used for many, many years. Even the algorithms that is used for sorting will change. Your data will not be in one place. Your data lake actually may not be there with you. You'll have some data with you. There'll be some data in the IoT device. There'll be some data with LinkedIn. Your algorithms will have to crunch your data across a variety of areas and give it to you in your personal cloud for your Shivraj to be able to make a decision for you immediately at that point in time. However, I do think your Shivraj will tell you, hey, it is your wedding anniversary, and you will forget. That time, your brain will reign supreme because your brain will say, okay, I will tell some sort of a lie to sort of make it up. Right? So brain will still be an absolute supreme human being. Security, we talked about this. I mean, this will change big time. I think in the panel, we just had the discussion that says, who has access to the data, and I will not go into the porn side of things. But however, if you look at all of the data is accessible by design. You have no control over it. Where you are, which traffic signals you are on, which car you are on, which Uber you are on, which flight you took, it's all there. It's even there now. I mean, by 2030, it's everything will be there by default. It will be tied to you, you are identified, and the security of that data will be your choice. It will be up to you to say, how do I secure the data that is out there and there is nothing stopping it in the marketplace? Your fundamental securities, right now we are in the GDPR's world. That's too arcane. I mean, that's, every country, I think as we said, will come up with some regulatory needs. However, things will go pretty strongly into, you could use a lot of the blockchain fundamentally as your security. You could also use a lot of your AI powering a lot of your security, where it learns and says, hey, look, let me actually power up a lot of your security devices. So your security will also fundamentally change from where you are, and you will use a lot of AI techniques to even run your security. So having said that, what does that do to us? If you look at an IT dude like me, some years ago, people said the CIO job won't even exist. Now I'm on the stage talking about the technology. Technology right now is one of the most important roles in any company. If you don't run technology transformations, companies will be eaten up. So back to Rajesh's point, it is imperative for all of us to say, in order to get ready for 2030, we need to start running a form of the transformations in your organizations. They all will have different shape, but those have to run to get people ready for 2030. Thank you.